Okay, so after my last video, a couple of people said they were interested in seeing my journal that I'm doing, my book journal. I'm doing this via an app called Zinnia, and I just got this from the App Store in the Apple App Store. I did have to pay. It's a yearly subscription. I can't remember how much it was now, but it wasn't too much, and it was less than it would have cost me to buy a journal, so I felt like it was worth it. So I've designed my front cover. You can see it here, and if I click on it, you can see the pages that I've created. So when you create a new page, if you look at the bottom here, you can just click to create a new page, and there's different layouts. You can have blank, dot grid, grid, lined, spread, whatever you want. And then once you've got that, you can start designing. So this is the front cover of my journal. There's lots. I'll show you a few here. If you click here, there's lots of different things here. There's templates, journal cards, there's pictures, there's collections of things. However you want to sort of do it, you can look different things up, and you can also bring in photos as well and use your own things. So I think this was a journal card. I liked the fact it said stay cozy. And I wanted sort of my first spread to be just a yearly overview really. So I've put in a monthly box here, and I'm just going to put in my favourite books of each month, and just have a little, it'll be a sort of a go-to at the end of the year to see which books I enjoyed the most in each month. Then my next page that I decided to do was one that I'd started last year as well, and it's basically just the front cover of every single book that I read, and just having them all there. I think it's quite nice to just have a visual view of them at the end of the year. So as you can see, it's just the end of January, beginning of February. So I've got all my books currently that I've read there, and I can just slot them in as I finish reading them. My next one is a little bit of a stats page. I wanted to have a visual representation of the books that I read. So this is a 200 square because I want to try and read 200 books this year, and then the X's are just showing every time I read a book, and I'm changing the colour every month so that I can see how much I've read in each month. At the end of the year I can see, oh, you know, I read the most in that month. I'm also just recording here how many black authors, how many white authors, and how many authors of colour. I want to see what my spread is there because I made a commitment to myself last year that I wanted to read more black authors. And as you can see, that so far I'm not doing a very good job of that this year. I've only read 2 black authors, 11 white, and 3 authors of colour, and that's not a good ratio at all. I am taking part in the Black Author Readathon this month, so I'm hoping that that will help to balance that out a little bit, and it's definitely something I need to be really focusing on. Next I've got the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I just took this off the Pop Sugar website, so this is the current challenge with all of the prompts, and then all I'm doing is I've put a little dot for every single prompt that's possible, and every time I complete a prompt I'm putting a little heart in the box, and I am writing down what it is I read and who it's by, and then doing it like that. So I can also putting a little cross next to the particular prompt, and we'll just see how I get on. I've never really recorded Pop Sugar. I've always meant to but never did, so we'll see if I do any more this year. I'm going to do the Buzzwordathon. This is sort of Lala's from Books and Lala's thing, and this year she announced all of the different prompts for all of the months and said basically you could make it what you wanted. So what I've done is I've written all the prompts down, and every month I'm just going to read one book that fulfills the prompt, and when I finish it I'm going to put the book cover in and put the star rating. I am still reading the January one even though we're sort of a few days into February, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. I'll just pop it in when I've finished reading it, and I've got my one picked out for February which I will start at some point. So that's just to record that. And then we start into the actual months. So at the beginning of every month I wanted a little bit of a spread. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, but I like the idea of having a calendar here in case I want to do something with it in the future, and this sort of fit the aesthetic of the calendar that I picked, so I just called it January Wrap Up. And then all the pages that come after this, actually this one is a January particular readathon that I was doing. Leanne from Literary Diversions is doing monthly readathons, a year of readathons. Her one in January was Read the Colour Palette. So I took the artwork that she'd produced, popped it onto my page, and then I put in the books that I read for that, and then I just gave a tick when I'd read it and put in the star rating, just sort of as a bit of a extra visual representation. And I put myself a little complete mark at the top because I did manage to complete that, which is unusual for me, so I'm very pleased with that. And then, as I was going to say, the next pages I did sort of a 2-column page, and at the top they've got the number of the book that I've read. There's a picture of the book cover, what star rating I gave it. I've written out my thoughts and feelings and a bit of a synopsis, and then the pictures that go around it are all relevant to the book. So this particular book was a romance. It was about sort of dogs and a girl and her dog, and I showed the romance there. This one is sweet bean paste, so it's about sort of desserts, and it's about this sort of cafe stall. So I've tried to incorporate that into all of the different things. I'll show you this one. You can see this one has a lot to do with food, and so on. So I'm not going to show you all of those, but there's lots of different ones. And then when I came to the end of the month, I had a side free, so I just put always bring your own sunshine, because I think that's a really nice quote. And then the final spread per month is this. This is my January 2021 favourites. I've split it in half: TV that I've been loving and books that I've been enjoying, just to sort of give me, again, just one spread that's like a visual representation that I can use to talk to you. I've actually made a video, which is where I talked about this journal, and used this to help me remember what it was I wanted to talk about. So it's just easy to drag in the documents, make it look pretty with a few pictures, and I've really enjoyed building that up over the month and adding to it. And so this is February. This is the start of February. I really liked this picture. I think it goes well with what I want to do in February, reading a lot more Black authors. I'm taking part in the Black Author Readathon, so reading lots and lots of Black author romance books. I've got so many on my shelf. I'm so excited. So I'm getting started with that. And these are the readathons. There's the Black Author Readathon, there's my bingo board. I'm also doing Leanne's February challenge, which is all the bookish love, and I sorted out which books I was going to read. If you want to find out more about that, she's made a video so you could watch that. And then I'm judging the BookTube Prize non-fiction, and they're the books that I need to read, the 6 books for the category that I'm currently doing. So this just shows me the different things that I'm going to be doing in February, and I can put in some front covers on here as and when I read them, and do the same here with a tick and different things, and just show that I'm ticking things off. So that's going to be where I add my reviews. In fact, I'm going to move this one, and this is how easy it is. When you want to move it, you can just hold it down and drag it up, because that is my first review for this month. I've made that page already, which is the books and TV, but I haven't added any to it, but it's waiting there for me to sort of design as I go along. And then in March there is Tis the Damn Readathon, which is being run by quite a number of different people, but I saw this on Emma from Drinking by Your Shelf's channel. It's a Taylor Swift inspired readathon. I have to admit, I'm not massively into Taylor Swift, if I'm honest. It's not, I'm not massively into any particular musicians, but I like her songs, and I really like the idea of this readathon. So it's all the different albums that she's had, and for each you can fulfill a prompt. So I've decided which prompts I want to go for that, and then I'm just going to make this look better and put the books in as I go, but I've sort of made a start on that. So far that is everything that I've done. I might decide to track more things, I might decide to change things or add different things as I go on, but I think that's the beauty of this type of thing. If you haven't left a space in a physical journal, then you have to you're stuck really, unless you can stick pages in, whereas with this you can drag the pages around and add pages into wherever you want, which I really love. And then I can add next year a new journal and start a new journal, and this can be my sort of base for all my journals. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's made journaling much easier for me. I'm not really into, well, I quite like the idea of drawing all these different things and then colouring and taking the time to make it look really nice, but I do find after the initial first 2 months have gone, the sort of novelty wears off a bit and finding the time is more difficult, whereas this one I can add to quite easily, or I can sit for a few hours and do quite a lot and not feel bored. It's quite a therapeutic, quick process to add things in digitally, and you don't make mistakes like colouring outside the edges or blotting things or drawing something in the wrong place and then having to start all over again. It's just a case of pressing the delete button, which I really like. So anyway, yeah, that is my app. You can see here, this is the app. There's my daughter photo. It is called Zinnia, and this is what it looks like. And yeah, as I say, I can't remember how much it was. I've got a feeling it's something like £10 or £20 a year, something like that, but I think it's worth it. I'd probably spend that much on a planner anyway. So that is a little bit of a tour. I hope that was helpful if you're interested, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.